Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Financial Archive. Today, we're diving into one of the most pressing and often misunderstood economic issues: inflation. We all feel it, but who is truly paying the hidden cost? Simply put, inflation is the decline of purchasing power of a given currency. It means that over time, your money buys fewer goods and services. It's a systemic phenomenon, not just a price hike. Imagine your morning coffee cost $2 yesterday. Today, it's $2.50. That is inflation in action. It slowly eats away at the value of every dollar you earn and save. The causes are numerous: excessive money supply, rising production costs, or high demand outstripping supply. But when the effects ripple through the economy, who feels the pinch the most? Understanding inflation isn't just academic, it's crucial for everyday financial well being. It can silently erode your future, making long term planning a constant uphill battle. Let's start with those on a fixed income, like retirees. Their income, such as pensions or Social Security, doesn't rise in tandem with prices, causing their purchasing power to literally melt away. For someone living on a $2,000 monthly pension, a 5% inflation rate means their money effectively buys $1,900 worth of goods a year later. That's a significant cut without any change in their actual income. This forces difficult choices: cutting back on essentials, delaying medical care, or struggling to afford basic utilities. Inflation disproportionately burdens those who can least afford it. Young families and entry level professionals are also hit hard. The prices of necessities like housing and groceries often soar faster than their starting salaries can keep up. Imagine trying to save for a down payment while rents skyrocket and food prices make up a larger portion of your budget. It feels like chasing a constantly moving target. Many entry level jobs don't keep pace with inflation. A recent graduate might find their carefully planned budget obsolete within months of starting their first job. This economic pressure can lead to delayed milestones, home ownership, starting a family, or even saving for retirement, impacting an entire generation's future. Your savings account is quietly depreciating. If your savings interest rate is lower than the rate of inflation, you are, mathematically, losing money every single day. A 2% interest rate on your savings might sound good, but if inflation is 5%, your money's real value decreases by 3% annually. It's a hidden tax on your prudence. This discourages saving, pushing people to spend now rather than later, which can paradoxically fuel even more demand and further inflation. It's a tricky cycle. For businesses, inflation means soaring costs for raw materials, energy, and labor, leading to higher prices for you, the consumer. It creates a vicious inflationary cycle. Small businesses, especially, struggle to absorb these rising costs. They often have less bargaining power with suppliers and fewer resources to automate or innovate. This can lead to reduced profits, layoffs, or even business closures, impacting employment and local economies. It's not just a balance sheet problem, it's a community problem. Ultimately, these rising business costs are passed on to consumers in the form of higher prices, creating a feedback loop where everyone pays more for everything. The real estate market is deeply affected. Inflation can cause housing prices and rental costs to skyrocket, pushing homeownership further out of reach for millions. Mortgage rates often rise to combat inflation, making borrowing more expensive. This dual effect, higher prices and higher rates, creates a formidable barrier to entry. For renters, it's a constant battle as landlords increase rents to keep pace with their own rising costs and property taxes. Affordable housing becomes an increasingly distant dream. In the long run, unchecked inflation erodes confidence in the currency and economic stability. This can lead to market volatility, social unrest, and even economic crises. When people lose faith in their money, they may seek alternative stores of value, sometimes leading to frantic speculation and economic bubbles, or worse, a flight from the currency. This instability can deter foreign investment, reduce trade, and ultimately hamper a nation's ability to grow and prosper. The ripple effects are global. From personal budgets to international relations, inflation's long-term consequences are far-reaching, highlighting its role as a fundamental threat to economic equilibrium. So, is anyone winning? Yes. Debtors often benefit. The real value of the money they repay is less than the value of the money they originally borrowed. If you borrowed $100,000 when inflation was low, and then inflation rises, The $100,000 you pay back effectively has less purchasing power. It's a relief for those with large liabilities. The government can also be a hidden beneficiary. Tax revenues often increase in nominal terms, and crucially, the real burden of the national debt is reduced. While their debt remains the same in dollar terms, the cost of that debt in terms of goods and services is lessened. It's a subtle but powerful mechanism. What can you do to fight back? Invest in inflation hedging assets, things that historically outperform inflation, like equities, real estate, commodities, and gold. Tangible assets tend to hold their value better than cash during inflationary periods. They can provide a buffer against the erosion of your wealth. Consider Treasury inflation-protected securities, TIPS, which are government bonds designed to protect against inflation. Their principal value adjusts with the Consumer Price Index. Portfolio diversification is your best defense. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Spread your wealth across different asset classes to minimize risk exposure. Focus on increasing your earning potential. Developing new skills or seeking promotions can help your income keep pace or even outpace rising costs. The ultimate protection is knowledge and financial literacy. Understanding the mechanisms of inflation empowers you to make smarter, more informed decisions about your money. Educate yourself on economic indicators, central bank policies, and global events that can influence inflation. Stay informed, stay prepared. Take control of your financial future by actively managing your money and adapting your strategies as economic conditions evolve. Proactivity is key. Ultimately, inflation is an invisible tax that silently redistributes wealth. Knowing who truly pays the price is the critical first step toward achieving your own financial security. Thank you for watching.